Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dr. Brian Kibabi's channel. Today is a great day, not because it is Valentine's Day, but today I'm hosting the one and only great man, great person from Kibabii University, Vice Chancellor of Kibabii University. Remember, our Chancellor is His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, and our Vice Chancellor is the one and only, the great leader, Professor Ipara Odeo. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a Valentine Day, and this is my message to you. What is love? Some people will love you because of how you are. Some people will love you because of who you are. Others will love you because of what you are. And finally, some people will also love you because of what you have. Therefore, this Valentine's Day, ask him or her why he or she loves you. Welcome, Professor Ipara Odeo. Today is a great day, and I have a surprise for you. Vice Chancellor, you are a great leader, and you are a great person in our university. And therefore, I give this to you as a gift to your Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you so much.
It's a simple gift that I accept it.
I'm humble. It's not the value of the gift that matters,
Okay.
but the intention of the person giving you the gift. So thank you.
Welcome.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we want to inquire about some of the questions about Kibabii University. Before we go to Kibabii University, Vice Chancellor, I may wish to request or to have an answer for this on a lighter note. While you are a teenager or in your 20s, did you ever have a dream that one day you'll be a Vice Chancellor of any university?
No, I didn't then because I had not even been to university. But what I knew is that I wanted to be different. I wanted to achieve. And my late mother once told me that I used to mention one particular leader then, and I would say, I want to be the next that person. I don't want to mention the person now, but that person was once president of this country. So that means that even as young as I was, I had aspirations to climb higher.
Ladies and gentlemen, every man has a dream. Dr. Martin Luther had a dream, and the dream came true. This is why Peter Nyong'o said that your dreams are valid no matter where you come from. Professor Ipara Odeo, our Vice Chancellor, there may be young people who may be seeing you in the value of being a great person, a great leader within the university. And at times they may make assumption that success is luck. Is it really true that you are lucky to be a Vice Chancellor, or there are some effort that you put towards it?
Success is not luck. That mentality has been overtaken by new knowledge in HR, human resource, and management. Success is about hard work, it's about commitment, it's about resilience. It's about learning from your mistakes and ensuring you don't repeat the mistakes.
Thank you so much, Vice Chancellor of Kibabii University, Professor Ipara Odeo. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you may not know. Makamu Chancellor wa Kibabii, chuo kikuu cha Kibabii, pia ni profesa ambaye ni mmoja wa bingwa waandishi wa vitabu wa Kiswahili katika shule za upili nchini Kenya na hata Afrika Mashariki. Na chukua fursa hii kupatia Makamu Chancellor wetu, Professor Ipara Odeo, uweze kuwasiliana na jamii yetu, manake watu wengi ama jamii inapuuza lugha ya Kiswahili. Nachukua fursa hii uweze kuelezea uboreshaji wa lugha ya Kiswahili katika jamii.
Naam, mimi ni kweli ni makamu mkuu wa chuo kikuu, lakini pia ni mwanataaluma wa Kiswahili. Tunaposherehekea siku hii ambayo vijana wanapenda kuita siku ya upendanao, nafikiri ni fursa pia kwetu sisi wapenzi wa Kiswahili kusherehekea matukio mawili. Tukio moja ni kwamba juma lililopita Umoja wa Afrika katika kikao jijini Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, kiliidhinisha matumizi ya Kiswahili kama lugha ya kazi katika bara hili. Kwa hivyo hilo ni jambo la kujivunia, ni jambo la kusherehekea. Na hivi majuzi shirika la Umoja wa Mataifa la elimu na sayansi, UNESCO, pia lilipitisha kwamba tarehe 7 mwezi wa 7 kila mwaka itakuwa ni siku ya Kiswahili, yaani siku ya kusherehekea Kiswahili. Hii ni lugha ya Mwafrika, lugha inayobeba utamaduni wetu, ni lugha ambayo ni utambulisho wa Mwafrika, ni lugha ambayo sasa hivi inashindana na lugha nyingine kuu za ulimwengu huu, na ni vizuri kila mmoja wetu aionee fahari na atoe mchango wake katika kuiendeleza lugha hii adhimu.
Ladies and gentlemen, jivunie Kiswahili kama lugha yetu. On 8 October 2020, Professor Ipara Odeo, the Vice Chancellor of Kibabii University, he launched a book titled The Silent Footsteps. Kwa Kiswahili ni hatua za kunyatanyata. I would wish to know the secret or the story behind this book. Briefly, you can share with us.
Now, the impetus or the push to have this book was to share my experiences. Most of the time, when people see somebody in a position of leadership, they take it as a complete product, a finished product. They don't know where this person started and what they have gone through. You know, it's just like manufacturing. When you see the final product in the supermarket shelves, you really don't know what is behind that product. There are many substances, there are many things that were involved, and of course very many processes up to where that product gets to the shelves. So I wanted to share my story with young people. And my story is that I was just born like any other African child in a humble background, in the village, under very difficult conditions of health, because I lost a number of siblings at childbirth, at infancy, difficulties of getting education. We had to walk a long distance to school, difficulties of getting food, difficulties of traveling. So I went to school, for example, without shoes, and I would stay without meals, lunch. But this did not stop me from achieving So I really wish to appreciate the teachers along the way, right from primary, secondary, high school, and university. Those who mentored me, and also those who went ahead of me in academia and were like mentors to me. So what I would like to tell young people is that live every day as if it is the last day. Put in everything you can in whatever you do, because life is not a rehearsal that you'll come back to and correct. Once you've made a decision, once you've taken action that is permanent, the impact is permanent, it cannot be reversed. Young men, my message is that great leaders, Bill Gates being one of them, have said being born poor or in a poor family is not a mistake, but you take responsibility for dying poor. So our background should never determine our future, our success, because we have these opportunities. So long as you are focused, you take opportunities, you work hard, you are resilient, and you are ready to learn from mistakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, on what Professor just said, the Vice Chancellor of Kibabii University, it is not where you started, it is not what happens in journey. What matters where you are going. Your destiny is very, very important. Maybe to finish on about books, Professor, personally, I want to be among the best authors. Currently, I'm doing my fifth book, and I know there are young people who are also want to be in this field of writing books. Maybe you can share with us what about the secret of writing the best book or a good book?
Writing is a skill that you can nurture. One of the ways of nurturing writing is by reading what others have written. That way, you also get to know what skills they use, their styles. You also expand your vocabulary and so forth. But writing, the most important thing about writing is that one should take it as telling a story, narrating a story. How do you narrate a story? So the same way is what happens when you are writing. When you are writing, you're telling a story. You tell the truth. You should be genuine. The idea is to pass a message in the simplest way. So you use simple language that people understand. You use devices that people use when they are talking. Metaphors, for example. You just like you're putting words, spoken words in the written form. Short sentences, familiar words that people know. To capture the attention of the reader. Don't assume you know so much and you're better than the reader. No. just share the information you have. That is what I have learned from the critics or the criticisms I receive from people who read what I write.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is more than a great day. There's one time last year I attended one conversation with Professor Ipara, and he surprised me by what time you wake up. Once again, I would wish today maybe you can share that with us. At what time do you wake up in the morning?
Normally, I have two phases of sleep. And by the way, I sleep early. I sleep at 10.
Wow.
But I must every day wake up at 2.
Are you saying at 2 a.m.?
2 a.m. Then I will remain awake up to 5, about 5. Then I'll sleep and wake up at 7. Now, normally when I go to sleep, I have my pencil and the writing pad at my bedside. So when I wake up, I jot down the ideas that come to me. I record the things that I'm thinking about. This could be things to do with work or a speech I will present, or even what I wish to write about next. So in the morning when I wake up, then I transfer this to different recording modes. If it is a speech, I put it in the right place, or I file it somewhere for future reference. So it's good to also have enough sleep, but going by what I said earlier about hard work, it is not possible to be a hard worker if you go to sleep at 10 and sleep up to 6. That is wasting a lot of useful time. But during the day, I'm also quite busy and I utilize my time very, very well. For example, I come to my office at 8:30 and I'm always through. I always clear my desk at 10 so that I start receiving visitors. Then over lunch, if I'm in the office, I use that time for my own work. Like today, my personal assistant and I will spend 2 hours between 12 and 2 o'clock to polish the graduation speeches. And then after that I have management. After management at about 4, I will again remain in the office up to 6 to clear some writing. When I'm traveling and I'm being driven, I use most of my time to read and to write.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I've got a challenge, and in fact I'm going back to my drawing board because I've realized the secret of success, most successful people, is that early bird gets the worm and the second mouse will get the chick. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Ipara Odeo is full of wisdom and knowledge. Maybe on coming back to Kibabii University, once in a while back, 2013, if I'm not wrong, you are the principal of Kibabii College. Currently, you are the Vice Chancellor of Kibabii University. If you check around the environment of Kibabii University, it's quite a serene environment, and even looking at the office itself, this is such a wonderland. I may wish to know what's the secret of being a great leader within the university.
Yeah, one thing I need to put on record as I take advantage of this opportunity is that Kibabii University will celebrate 10 years of existence this year. It was established on 1st of March. Operations started on 1st of March 2012. And the first group of students, 333, reported on 12th of March 2012. So in a few weeks' time, we'll be exactly 10 years old. Actually, when we came here, the buildings were incomplete. Some, like the tuition block, was at ground floor. But the place looked like it was semi-arid with very little vegetation. A lot of construction rubble scattered all over. But we are proud of what we have achieved in the 10 years. There was no miracle really behind this achievement. It's just the style of leadership and management that we adopted. We adopted participatory leadership where everybody is free to suggest ideas that are discussed, and out of the dialogue, consensus arrived at, and implementation follows. When we came here, most of the staff who came here had not been in positions of responsibility. I had been a director of a school, but that is different from being a coordinator or a principal. But everybody learned very quickly. It's like we were all thrown at the deep end of a swimming pool. And there were only two options: to drown or to remain afloat. And we opted for remaining afloat, which required mastering very fast survival skills. For us, we mastered administrative and management skills. There was a lot of consultation among staff and a lot of sacrifice, commitment in terms of time, and even resources. We worked long hours. We supported each other, just like it happens in a football team. So we are proud to see the development. Of course, the most glaring is in terms of infrastructure. But there is also a lot that you cannot see. For example, a number of the senior managers here were just lecturers when we came here, were junior officers. But you see now they're finance officer, we have deputy vice chancellors, we have deans. Most of our staff, academic staff, came here as tutorial fellows. But I'm proud to announce that we now have close to 65 staff with PhDs. Last year alone, the last 1 year alone, we got about 15 PhDs. So these are things that you can't see openly. They are not tangible. But this is also an achievement. But more importantly, is in terms of the number of students. You can see from 333, now we're talking about 7,500. We have international students, about 23 now. We have many programs up to PhD level. We have an alumni association now that we can be proud of. We now are moving away from the nuts and the bolts culture to finesse, to quality of relations among staff guided by our values. So this has not come easy. It has come through a lot of commitment and sacrifice. We now have a culture that helps guide everything that we do. A lot of compliments we get here is about the green nature of the university, the happiness exhibited by staff and students, and the warm welcome that you receive right from the gate. Those are things that are not tangible, but they are important, they are critical in education. And all this is tied to our African culture, the culture of welcoming, the culture of working together, the culture of consulting. We don't have this big brother syndrome. So this is very critical. And if all of us can emulate that, then I think we have greater things to come. And maybe as I finish that, I just wish to draw the attention of those who are watching or listening to the fact that even the person interviewing me is a student of the university. And you can imagine the professionalism he has exhibited in conducting this interview, the mastery of language and the ease with which he's doing it. The editor, the person taking photographs, and the head of the editorial team is also a student. So you can see we are talking about things that have actually happened at Kibabii University. But he's still in charge of his office through technology. He knows what has been sold, he knows the orders that have come in, he knows what has been paid in the bank, and how much has been paid out. So we don't even know the kind of jobs that we are going to have next year. So the best thing for the young people is to learn, just the way we learn how to use the pen, to learn how to use technology. And technology, you don't even need a computer, desktop computer or a laptop. Even a small smartphone can do a lot of things. So complaining will not help us. Let us think about creating services using technology, services that we can sell to other people. That is the nature of the employment world or the labor world that is coming ahead of us.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, we have to change the technology. My last question is this. Currently, Kenya is undergoing politics and we are heading towards election. Many young people have lost lives in other years during politics, and young people are being used in creating crimes during politics. May you share with us the wisdom and the knowledge about handling these political issues as young people?
The people we have today are the most knowledgeable. And that is because they've taken advantage of technology. Now, young people, it is important for us not to be misused. A lot of politicians take advantage of you. Politicians who don't even have the type of education you have, but they're taking advantage of you by shouting slogans and giving you substances that intoxicate you. I want you to stop that. In fact, the best you can do is to form groups in your communities that can come up with demands and plans that you have for your communities, and put these politicians to task, not in rallies, but in halls, under trees, so that they can explain exactly what they're going to do. Then you can sign a contract with them because you are the majority. When they don't deliver, you can recall them. Now, unfortunately, again, is that most young people don't even have voters' cards. So can we encourage ourselves, if there is still opportunity, to get these voters' cards? You young people can move around easily. You have access to many people, including elderly people in the villages. Take advantage of this to explain to these elderly people the right they have to demand services, rather than just getting 50 shillings that you would use to buy a glass of drink that will ruin you, and you make a mistake, sell your right to vote by voting for somebody who does not even understand what you need, and people who will disappear. You are young, don't be misused to maim other people and to damage property. I remember, as I conclude, one time at the University of Nairobi, there were many strikes. And when there was a strike, students would go to the road and damage cars and so forth. So companies in Nairobi decided that they were not going to employ graduates from the University of Nairobi because of hooliganism. And you see, there was an outcry. So don't damage property because you're intoxicated. Some unscrupulous politician has bought you intoxicants. No. I want to repeat that your level of education is higher than most of the politicians who are misleading you. So stop shouting slogans. Engage the politicians. Demand that they should be accountable. And all of us will see a difference in the political landscape in Kenya, in Africa, and in the world.
In conclusion, on Dr. Brian Mativa's channel, as you watch this video, kindly like, subscribe, and share. Professor, I want us to share this in common. This is my slogan, that we were born to inspire before we expire. In one voice.
We are born to inspire before we expire.